You know, I want to thank you for taking a couple minutes out of your time. I realize that it's time you can never give back to somebody. You know, so I get the question and I educate other chiropractors on alkaline water. Why even listen to this conversation? Again, you will hear me say it over and over again. The body is self-healing, the body is self-regulating. The nervous system controls and coordinates the whole body. That's what we talk as chiropractic. Interference in the nervous system is what we do. However, we got to get present to the fact that we are living in a very toxic environment. The carpet cleaners that we use, the dry cleaning that we use, the emotional stress all creates a toxicity within our body. Because our patient's bodies are too toxic. That's the patient that is not holding their adjustment. That's the one that constantly has the muscle spasms. So I want to tell you, take 10-15 minutes out of your time, listen to this video, and really listen from an open heart of, wow, could it be so simple? Because, you know, as chiropractors, it's pretty simple. You adjust and the body heals itself. You drink high quality live ionized alkaline water and the body has the ability to heal itself at a more rapid rate. So I get the fact that you get bombarded with a number of information of this gadget and that gadget. This is water. Part of who I am. I've been practicing 10 years. I see roughly between 200 and 300 patient visits a week in my office. My vision is who I've become is I'm the doctor's doctor. Let me explain. I adjust over 10 to 15 chiropractors a week in my office. My vision is to bring these chiropractors and other fellow chiropractors who maybe do not get the kind of steady stream flow that I get off the street in the kind of patients that I see. Not everybody wants to see 300 patients a week. My vision anymore is the message that I have, I feel, is a fairly strong one. I feel I get amazing results. And my goal is to educate other chiropractors on some of the stuff that I'm doing. And I'm not asking for a monetary return. I am asking that I leave a legacy. And my legacy, if I teach chiropractors that can go out and touch, let's say a minimum of 50 to 100 a day, it filters out who I am out into the profession. So I have a passion for helping other chiropractors, and I have taught chiropractors that have one block down the street from me, one's in my plaza on the other side of the building, all of my protocols, not based on a scarcity, but based on an abundant, because I feel if we are all thriving, it's just going to increase our profession as a whole. I do specialize in sports medicine, so I have a number of athletes that come in and see me, and the hydration is just remarkably different. They're not getting the hamstring cramps, the recovery time's better, they're not getting the sores they've been in the past. My racer, Aaron Yates, presently won the Superstock Championship. He's always griping and complaining because when he's on the road he doesn't have his water with him, and boy does he notice the difference too. So we have actually started carrying the water on the Michael Jordan race truck for him, up to about 10 gallons per race. So that's worked out good for him, but he noticed the difference in performance. A lot of athletes will ask me, well, Dr. Tim, what is this water going to do that's different than other water that I could possibly be drinking? And I said, hey, that's a great question because, again, I want to get this point across. All water is not equal. So when you start talking ionized, alkaline, restructured water, there's many benefits to it. A lot of people get stuck on the pH of the alkaline water. That's important, but it's not as important as what I think is the next one, is that when you ionize water, you actually strip the water molecule into hydrogen and a negative OH. Hydroxyl ion. Very beneficial for athletes. When you have that hydroxyl ion, that is a negative charged ion that can allow itself to give itself up as an antioxidant. So for an athlete, somebody who's dealing with lactic acid and somebody who's dealing with not calcium absorption, because cramps come from a calcium problem, it helps add into bringing that oxygen-rich environment. This third thing I want to really make sure that we get it is that water clumps together 15 molecules. When you run it through an ionizer, you strip that molecule into 1/3 of the size. You also create a hexagonal shape back into the water molecule. Now, what does that really mean from a layman's term? Well, 15 grapes can't move through a smaller section. You have a 1/3 of the size of the grapes. It can move in and hydrate tissues that normally do not get hydrated. So from an athletic perspective, if you can increase hydration, you're going to increase hydrostatic pressure, which is going to just increase athletic performance. So it's phenomenal for athletes. It's a must. As a wellness practitioner, we always explain to patients that chiropractic and wellness is a continuum. And so I think a lot of patients answer this question. Once you start going to a chiropractor, you have to what? I think most patients always say, always got to keep going. And they say that either positively or negatively. They say it negatively, guess what, docs? As you have not educated, you have not possessed the communication that the patient understands why they need to keep coming back. Now, when I speak of wellness and with the water machine, it's really helped our patients stay in a wellness mold because they know now we have taken them out of the mold of just neck and back pain and we have moved them into the condition of wellness. So when my patients have diarrhea, they're not feeling good, they got the sore throats, and they have these numerous different symptoms that I've educated them on how water can help them, they return for water and enhance. We get to do a re-examination on them and re-enroll them and try to get them restarted underneath some care. When we start talking water to patients and to people out in the public, and you mention, hey, what kind of water you're drinking, a lot of people always ask, what do you mean, what kind of water you're drinking? When I've been traveling the whole country last year with the Jordan Suzuki race team, I was shocked when I said, hey, what kind of gas is that? And there's a thing called race gas, octane. I think everybody's fairly familiar. Go put your car, put 87 in your car, put 89 in your car, put 90 in your car, put 92 in your car. There's different levels of octane. So when I really started getting in the water and getting the education, I really wanted to make sure patients and people understood that there's different types of water. And when I came across, I was just sitting down one day at the race and I saw, God, you know, that's a different type of race gas that's going in there. Why don't they just put regular gas in there? So I used the analogy that says all gas is not equal, all water is not equal. And my 7th principle of wellness says education, education. There's a lot of information that I've been saying right now, and we want to make sure there's some education that needs to take place. We go out to lunch with a group of doctors on a regular basis, and the same question I always get, I think as a chiropractor, is everybody wants to grow their practice. And I say the very first thing, who you are on the inside will determine who you are on the outside. So my first advice to anybody listening to this and watching me right now is make sure your message is clear. Make sure you have a purpose and make sure you have a vision that is set in stone. As you heard me speak, my vision says wellness. What an easier way to grow a practice? 2 ways. You can either increase more patients in the door, which is going to increase you working more, or you increase services that people will see amazing results that is affordable to them. That is the reason why I have gone with the magic water machines, because it has increased my bottom line by not having to always chase for that new patient. I truly believe the new patient, see a few times is the harder way to go. If you bring a patient in, you educate them on wellness, you educate them on the water machine, you will see an increase in your bottom line threefold. So when you're looking at all the new bells and whistles that come around, I know right now spinal decompression is the hot thing, and you have all these different things that hit you all the time. You know, you have to start understanding what is your foundation, your principles. And I think there's not one chiropractic out there that can argue with the fact that drinking water is beneficial for your health. Matter of fact, I don't think there's a massage therapist, a physical therapist, or anybody who will tell you that drinking water is not one of the key fundamental keys to health. Now, if that's the case, if that's one of the key fundamentals to health, as we know as chiropractors, most people only drink a glass of water to swallow their prescription medication. So for me, when I start talking to people and other chiropractors about what's the one thing that they could really bring in their office, because I do cold laser, percussive, arthostim, and some other things. You want to hire an associate without having an associate? Get an alkaline water machine, because it's something that you can start giving your patients right away. It doesn't take any kind of management or learning really around other than educating yourself on the behalfs of all the different things of what it can do. And it's just really impacted my office, and it made me decide, hey, we're going to go with this water because it's just a key ingredient to health. So from a practice management standpoint, when you can offer something to patients that they can't get anywhere else, what I've seen in my office is they go home with a couple of their friends and they show back up with a couple of their friends to show them the water machine and show them the type of water that they're drinking. Also, when you drink an ionized restructured water, patients start to feel better. It's going to create the vitamins that when they come back in after a couple days to fill their water back up, they start feeling better. So their next step is they want to continue on that thrive. So what it's increased with us is now it makes their multivitamin work a little bit better, because the molecular size is going to move those minerals and nutrients into the cells a little bit better. So it's drastically changed our office just just by seeing our patients coming in and getting the water on a regular basis, bringing in other people, and providing such an easy concept of hydration that has led us to getting more education to them on wellness, not just on neck and back pain. We have gone through school, we have stood the test of time, and there's never been a better time to practice chiropractic than right now. When economic times are tough for people, our practice gets busier. All I can do is to challenge you to get yourself educated, to get yourself a water machine, and take the challenge. It's one of the cheapest alleys you could do to generate income into your office. So if you ever need any type of advice, I would tell you, start from a wellness-based model and make water one of your foundations. It's a simple concept, and it's not a long stretch from probably where you are now. Having a busy, high-volume practice, I see numerous people in the community. Being in Salt Lake City, it's the heart of new products. Every day, it seems like 2 or 3 people, hey, Dr. Tim, can I have some of your time? And here it comes. Super fruit juice comes in, or another product comes in, and it's just like, it gets frustrating, and I totally get where you guys are coming from when you're listening, oh, this is another new product. This isn't a new product. This is one that you must try. Try the water. As a chiropractor, a lot of patients come to me, and the first thing you sit down and you introduce yourself to a patient, you want to find out what it's all about them. I think we know in this day and age, we are up against a nasty health crisis. There's numerous things that people are coming in for our help to find out if we can help them. As a chiropractor, and fitting yourself into a wellness mold, you're going to have to come up with a philosophy that lets patients know, A, do they have a problem? Most patients aren't so sure if they have a problem. The second is, can you help them with the problem? They need to know that, and that's where certainty comes in. And then the third, of course, being a chiropractor, is they want to know how much money it is. From that said, that the patients have a problem, you show them you can fix the problem and how much it could cost, make it all affordable. When you tie in the wellness molded model to that concept, that is a win-win situation, not only for you, but for the patient. And when you take the patient at heart first, and you start changing lives, because what you do is who you are, not based on a business molded model, that is where you'll start experiencing major leaps and bounds in your practice. Over the last year and a half, having a Kangen water filtration system in my office has been one of the easiest things I have ever incorporated. My bottom line is up due to ionized alkaline water. Doesn't take any employee education. It's a simple way to change lives and to make some extra income for you too. A lot of patients always ask me, well, Dr. Tim, how much did you pay for your machine? I've told them my machine is free. And they look at me, what do you mean? Well, I want a free machine. Well, of course you do. Well, guess what? Once you get 8 or 9 people to buy a machine, your machine's paid for. And I did that over the first 8 to 10 weeks. It took me about 10 weeks to get 8 people to sign up. And now my wife is working it full time. She sells about a machine a week. And it's just been an amazing thing. So if you want to get your machine free, we can get you and educate you on how to have that happen for you. Part of my vision as being a chiropractor, because doctor means teacher, is to help educate other doctors, get people transformed, create miracles in your life. So for anybody that needs any more information, please have a conversation with the person that has given you this information. If you need to find me or have a conversation with me and I can help educate you on how I use the water machine in my office, I do a weekly healthcare class, feel free to contact me.